Eleanor Roosevelt said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence from every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." The purpose of my speech is to tell you about Eleanor Roosevelt's gifts as a speaker and a person. We should care about this because she was able to overcome a fear of public speaking and go on to deliver important messages. Through research, I've uncovered a number of facts about her life, and now I want to give you a brief biography of her life, talk about one of her important speeches, and the impact that speech had. First, let me tell you some about her life. Anna Eleanor Roosevelt was born in 1848 in New York City, and she was educated in London. Her uncle was Theodore Roosevelt, and Franklin Roosevelt was a distant cousin of hers, whom she would later marry when she was 21 years old. They would go on to have 6 children together. Before she became a notable speaker, Eleanor Roosevelt served 12 years as First Lady, and when Franklin Roosevelt developed polio and became disabled, she became his eyes, ears, and voice as she traveled the country and the world, honing her public speaking and her writing skills. Now that I've told you a little about her life, I would like to talk briefly about one of her important speeches, which was entitled Human Rights. She gave the speech in 1948 in St. Louis, Missouri, and the purpose of the speech was to inform the public of the importance of acknowledging everyone's rights. She spoke with confidence and in a slow, deliberate pace, which seemed to reinforce her credibility as a speaker. She was poised and fashionably dressed, and she placed emphasis on important points of her speech by raising and lowering the tone of her voice. She urged the people to be conscious of the importance of everyone's rights. She said that real change must first come in the hearts of men, that we must want our fellow human beings to have rights and freedoms which give them dignity and also help to promote peace. Now that I've told you a little about her most famous speech, I would like to talk about the impact of that speech. She served as a UN delegate, and during that time she helped to write a document called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In her speech, she promoted this document as a way for countries to help educate their citizens on how to understand the importance of human rights. The speech also showed countries ways in which they could use this document to create their own covenants and laws by which they can guarantee rights for their citizens. The speech also helped to solidify her reputation as an activist and a visionary. She championed women's rights and promoted social welfare reforms, civil rights, and she even openly opposed the Japanese-American citizen internment during World War II. Despite threats of death from the Ku Klux Klan, she served on the board of the NAACP and fought for racial equality. Her courage and determination established her as one of the most important and powerful First Ladies we've had in this country's history. My speech today was to inform you about Eleanor Roosevelt's gifts as a speaker and a person. I've given you a brief biography of her life, talked about one of her important speeches and the impact of that speech. Even though she lived more than 60 years ago, we can still learn from her courage, convictions, and determination.